Hey y'all, just waiting on some folks to join. I wanted to talk about a couple things about my interesting day today. Just waiting on to see if anybody's gonna come in. I'm real good at doing these last minute live streams. It just hits me and I'm like, well, I think I'll go live tonight. It's kinda like my life. Fly by the seat of my pants. Can everybody hear me okay? I hope so. I'm on my laptop. So I got a few people in here. So just wanted to tell y'all kind of about my day today. I've had a pretty interesting day. Started off, we had homecoming at church this morning, and that's always fun. Um, we always do covered dish meals, with homecoming, have bluegrass gospel come in and sing, and they had us singing after lunch, but I didn't get to stay for that. I wish I could have, but I wasn't able to stay for that. We had an awesome guest preacher today. Go to a very small little rural church. I've been there forever and ever. So, since before I was born, my mama's been going there since she was like 10 years old. So, and has played the piano there since she was that young. But anyways, we had a great time. I made country ham biscuits to take and chicken and dumplings and took some of my icicle pickles. So people really seemed to enjoy that, and just always a lot of good food there. So, hey y'all, thank y'all for being here. So something interesting I wanted to talk to y'all about. So I don't know if y'all saw the short that I added. It was Friday where we were slicing our country hams because we cure our own hams. We do our own hogs. Everything's the old fashioned way, the things you read about in the books. We still do that. It's a community effort around here. But, anyways, we cure our own country hams. So, what happened today is my father in law, my husband, they use this secret recipe, that's been passed down for generations and generations. Like, I think it was my father in law's grandpa's or great grandpa's recipe. Anyways, to get to the point, um, we don't usually lose hams, which means the hams, they take the salt, they turn into country ham, they cure, they've been hanging for, oh me, a couple months, but they sit with the salt and everything before you hang them. So they've been in there since December in this pack house. So today we went to go slice some more, and y'all, we lost three. Three of our hams. I'm talking about whole hams, and we've got a meat saw that we slice them with. It was just sickening because we don't usually lose any. Um, hey y'all, I'm so glad y'all are here. Um, so it's good to see. I'm glad everybody's joining. Like I said, I know it's kind of last minute, and I'm sorry about that. But so those hams though, so when a ham goes rancid, usually you can tell as soon as you cut into it, like, down next to that bone, you can see it, you can smell it, you could just imagine, right? But a couple of those hams, it was actually in the fat, which I've never seen before. I'm not sure. Everybody was kind of bumfuzzled a little bit about that, but the fat smelt rancid, kind of like when your lard goes rancid. It kind of had that funky smell. Um, like I said, same recipe, like 100-year-old recipe, and we do it every year. It's nothing new to any of us. Like, this is just second nature. So I'd like to hear y'all's opinions on that. If any of y'all know anything about curing hams, like, so the weather has been a little weird the last few years. So I'm not sure if that has something to do with it. But the last 3 years, like, I think year before last, we lost maybe one. Last year we lost one or two, and this year we lost three. Um, so I don't know if that's what happened. Um, I'm not sure. Let me read through my comments. Y'all hold on. Yeah, if any of y'all have any suggestions or like no, so let me tell you what me and Andy were talking about these hams. So you know how like things over the last couple of years, like supply chains and stuff's been weird. They've been doing like shrinkflation. They've been adding extra chemicals to the food to make it cheaper to make, so they don't have to go up on the prices, so on and so forth. We just wonder maybe the salt was not as potent as it used to be because it's I mean, like I said, the weather's been a little weird the last couple years. A little warmer when we're doing our hog killings and stuff, but we just don't usually lose that much. And y'all, I'm talking about that's 50 pounds of meat a piece that we all split between each other. So that's a lot of meat that got thrown down the hill today. um, so I know we were all a little upset about it. And that's just part of it. Now we're not gonna quit. We're still this winter, we're still gonna make our hams and do it just like we always have. It's just little things like that can make you a little sick sometimes. But yeah, I don't know if it was the salt. I don't know. I just thought it was real strange because we cut into all three of them and it just wasn't good. Wasn't good. So this weekend, we haven't been real productive this weekend. I don't know why. I don't know if me and Andy both are just getting tired, but gardens are really slowing down. It's kind of getting in a lull between the fall garden and the end of the summer garden, except for my peppers. My peppers are like all of a sudden deciding that they're going to put off all the peppers. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with all them. I'd love to hear what y'all like to do with your peppers. Like I wanted to make some cowboy candy, but I don't have a ton of jalapenos, so I thought about trying it with my hot banana peppers. I don't know how that would be with hot banana peppers, but I thought about trying it because I have a lot of hot banana peppers. I pickled some peppers last year. They were really good, but I still have several jars of them left. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all these peppers. The tomatoes are really slowing down. I might get one more good picking. So dehydrating the peppers. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I made pepper powder one year, so I may do that again. Thank you for reminding me of that. So Tommy Perkins, we put up 5 gallons of habaneros. What did you do with the habaneros? I'm interested to hear. I planted habaneros last year and I had a ton of them, but they're just so hot I didn't know what to do with them. I just planted them just to plant them. Because I like hot stuff. But those are just, they're spicy. Also, Tommy and Stephanie Perkins, y'all smokehouse. I saw the email and the pictures, and it looks great. Looks great. I'm jealous. I would love to have a smokehouse. It's awesome. It's awesome. But yeah, I got my peppers coming in. I'm gonna get one more good picking off my big tomato field. Maybe a couple more 5-gallon buckets of those, but I've put up so many tomatoes, I may just try to get rid of those. Got a few more late green beans coming in, not many. So like I said, I'm just kind of in a lull right now. Like to get me some more apples to fix. My apple trees have a few apples on them, but they're still young. They've only been planted like 3 years, something like that. So they don't have many apples on them, but I want to get me another box of apples and dry them. Because if you've never had apple pies made out of the dehydrated apples instead of just regular apples, oh my goodness, it's just like a whole nother level. Takes it to a whole nother level when you use the dehydrated apples. Pickle the habaneros and leave them whole. So what do you? All right, so you pickle them and leave them whole. Do you cook with them when you do that, or? I'm just always looking for some. The peppers always have me stumped. Like what exactly to do with them? Like my pickled banana peppers that I did, I would like put them in with my pot roast and stuff, but that's all I really did with them. That would probably kind of like, would it be like the cowboy candy? Like, is it sweet? Like a sweet hot? Then I saw like a peach salsa, kind of like pepper jam or something. I don't know. Hey, Mimsy's Garden. Good to have you here. Glad to see you. But yeah, tell me how you use those pickled habaneros. I'd be interested to hear. Eat them with my rice and gravy. No sugar, just very hot, but I love them. That actually sounds pretty good. I may have to try that because I planted some last year and I had a lot and I just didn't know what to do with them. I love to watch peppers grow, like they're so pretty, but they stump me. So I'm gonna dehydrate some. I may pickle some more. And that's what I was reading about that, Stephanie, about I think I saw it in my Ball Cannon book, something like that, with the hot peppers and the pears. I made some pear preserves the other day, pear and ginger preserves, and I found it in the Ball Cannon book, and it was really good, really good. Homestead and pasture. We've been busy this weekend butchering some chickens and harvesting honey. That sounds awesome. Awesome. How many chickens did y'all end up doing today? I've got my first meat birds of the fall. Getting ready to head out to the tractor probably tomorrow. I got them in the brooder house right now. She does so good on them. I thought about asking her if she wanted to. That's pretty good. Oh my goodness. Y'all are cracking me up. Stuffed peppers with cream cheese wrapped in bacon, grilled or cooked in cast iron oven. Ooh, that sounds good. If only I could get my husband to eat them. I can't get him to eat peppers, but I can try it. All right. Pepper jelly, bell peppers, and jalapenos. That sounds pretty good. I made some pepper jelly one year, and it was really good with cream cheese. I just found that I didn't eat it enough. Like, I made all these jars of it. I was like so excited, and I'm out of like the 20 jars I made, I only ate like 2 jars of them. So I didn't make it anymore after that. But it was really good. That's been years and years ago. It's good to have you here, Camp Joy Farms. Good to see you. Hello, Coco. So yeah, I think I want to try that wrapped in bacon. That would be a good thing to cook maybe down at our campfire one evening. I'll just cook one for me. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I got a few more late green beans coming in. I got some Crowder peas that are gonna be ready to pick here just very, very shortly. I've already canned a couple cannerfuls, 2 or 3 cannerfuls of them. Oh, and sweet corn. Andy just reminded me, we also have that late sweet corn coming in, and we're just like fighting the deer and the raccoons as hard as we can so we can get some. The deer must be getting hungry this time of year is all I know, because that, if you watched one of our previous videos about, we were talking about that organic deer repellent that we use, it works great until about the end of the season. It's like they get used to it, or maybe they're just like starving. But it's not deterring them nearly as much as it was. They're getting in our corn about every other night. And one thing that makes you really mad about when deer get in your sweet corn is they just go through and they take a bite off of this one, and then they'll walk a little farther and they'll take a bite off another ear. It'd be different if they ate the whole thing. Wouldn't make me wouldn't make me as mad if they just eat the whole ear of corn, but they just go through, just bite it enough to ruin it. Beef bone broth. I have got some soup bones that I have never made beef broth. Made chicken broth, and I make pork broth in the winter out of the pork bones, but I've never made beef broth, and I've got some soup bones from this last cow, and I want to try to do that. Stephanie, I'm loving my pot. It sure has stepped up my canning process. Yeah, that pot it's my all-time favorite pot. I'm so glad you found one. I wasn't sure if they still made them anymore or not, but I'm glad you were able to find you one. You could do sweet roast and peppers like that too. Andy might like. Now, I've never heard of those peppers. These are Andy. AJBRBARSKI peppers.
I don't even know how to say that.
We had never heard of those. We have to look those up. Tommy Perkins, I can help y'all with them deer. I wish you was closer. I tell you, come on up here and take care of them. It's just the deer population is crazy here. It is at any given time you will see a deer between here and a half a mile to where that big garden is from my house. I mean, they're even out here now, the garden that's right outside my house. They're starting to eat on that stuff out there, and it's right next to my house. Um, yeah, they Andy, I used to be a big deer hunter. And since the kids were born, I don't really deer hunt that much anymore. I just don't have time, I don't really take the time to go down there and deer hunt. And Andy was telling me the other day, he's like, "You're gonna deer hunt this year. You're going down there and you're gonna deer hunt." Because he's never been a big deer hunter. He likes the gardening and stuff like that. Like that's his thing. He loves plants, and I've been deer hunting since I don't know, Daddy used to take me. I was a little girl. I've been going for a long time. He used to tell me, y'all, he'd say, "Now, if you gonna kill them, you're gonna learn how to clean them." And so here's this little girl out there. Daddy showing me how to clean them deer, so I can do it with the best of them. Let me see. Other side of Baton Rouge. Down there where it's real warm. All of y'all here. Emma Jean, love your farm life and family. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. You got that pot for $36. That's awesome. That is awesome. That was perfect timing then. That's awesome. We had planned to butcher 15, but we had to stop a little short of that harvest the honey before the rain started. Yeah, it's been raining here on and off all day today, too. So it was nice to wake up this morning, though, and just lay there and listen to the rain for a little bit. 15's pretty good, though. That's pretty good. I'll be starting, like I said, here before too long. And to finish the chickens this week. How many do y'all have left? How many chickens do y'all have all together? So 1 year we decided to do 100 meat birds at one time. It was our idea. I don't have anybody to blame it on but ourselves. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I won't be doing that again. Nope. We learned our lesson that day. After that, I didn't want to see another chicken. So now what I do is I do them in batches of 50, and you usually lose a few, but around 50. So I'll do 50, and 2 weeks later we'll have 50 more, and so on and so forth. Is usually the best way I have found to do it. Because y'all, let's face it, good help is hard to find. So we don't always really have help. A lot of times it's just me and Andy. So
Well, this year it was all you.
You helped me some. He said this year it was all me, but I was just trying to help him out since he was working. So I did about 10 a day every day for what? Until I got all of them done. Let's see. I've never been deer hunting, but I really want to learn. I'll take any advice you're willing to give. All right, Amy Lee, let me tell you about deer hunting, my kind of deer hunting. I go out there, whatever clothes I had on that day. I'm a terrible deer hunter. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. I'm not your average deer hunter. I go out there in whatever clothes I had on that day. I climb up in my deer stand, and I sit there and enjoy the peace and quiet and pray a deer walks out. That's about the best. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm the best one to get advice from, but I enjoy deer hunting though. It's fun. And the best part is when you just know this big buck's coming up behind you, like you hear the leaves rattling, and you just hear it getting closer and closer, and you look, and it's two squirrels chasing each other. That's the best part. We have an act front coming this week. It's going to drop down in the 80s. Yeah, y'all down there in Louisiana. I know it's warm down there. Because I know as humid as it's been up here and hot this summer, I know y'all been hot. Gotta been. My son-in-law mixes deer meat with hog to use it for ground meat. Yeah, we've got a processor that'll do like ground deer around here, and I think that's what they do is mix pig fat in with it because deer meat doesn't have it like hardly any fat, so it's got to have something to make it stick together. That is still, oh, let's see. It's been hot, but a rain pattern has started now. The weeds will be happy. The weeds here, right here at the very end, y'all, our gardens are pitiful. Like, it's like all of a sudden we were staying on top of them, and it was like overnight. I felt like they just, they took off. They took off, and it's like now just kind of throwing the towel in on the weeds. 25. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be a good freezer full of 25 chickens. That'll be good. All right. That's still a lot, though, or it just seems like a lot. Are you talking about the chickens? Seems like a lot. Not too far. What was he? So I do think I know what was eating the tomatoes. I think it is the turkey because even my tomatoes up on the highest part of the stalks now are still getting bit, just like the same way. And the other day I was down there and I looked up in the long bottom, what they call it, which is the far end of another field that's down there. And I bet there was 25 turkeys standing out there. Just out there. And me and the youngins is out there. Youngins running around screaming and turkeys out there doing their thing. So I'm pretty sure it's a turkey. It's got to be for them to be pecking it that high. And they're still they're going to town on them. So I've been trying to stay on top of my tomatoes because if I can pick them before they get red, they don't get to them. They're only going through and getting the ones that are like perfect, pretty much. You might as well say the perfect ripeness. That's the ones they're going through getting.
The Coco guy, he likes to do my kind of hunting.
Easier to drive around at midnight on the back roads looking for that whitetail. Yep. All right, you sound like Andy. Hey, just sitting and enjoying God's creation is very rewarding. Yes, it is. That is very rewarding. I enjoy the peace and quiet, and I don't know, just the stillness. I enjoy it, and like I said, pray a deer comes out. Well, gotta get my mother ready for bed. I'll be listening. Very glad to catch y'all's live. Thank you, Mimsy. Glad you were here. Love the videos of your family doing homestead things. Thank you so much. And Coco, so yeah, that's still a lot of chickens. But where we've been doing it so long now, I've kind of got a process that I go through, and I can get 10 done by myself, and that's setting up and then cleaning up too in about 2 hours. But like I said, that's my stuff is not already set up, so I have to get everything out, set everything up, catch the chickens, do my thing, heat the water up, then turn around and clean everything up, and I can do it in about 2 hours. That's 10 to 15 chickens, depending on just how quick I am that day, how much I'm on my game. I can help y'all with them turkeys too. Yeah, so I was doing some research on wild turkeys after everybody was talking about these turkeys here. So apparently in the county I live in North Carolina, we have the highest turkey population in the whole state of North Carolina. And I can tell because there's turkeys everywhere. And at one time, apparently wild turkeys about went extinct. I didn't know that either. And they made laws or something. I guess you couldn't kill turkeys there back for a while, and then they let the population grow. But yeah, the county I live in has the highest turkey population in the state. And like I said, the other day it was like 25 of them. I was riding my horse a couple days ago and went down through that same section and run up on some, and I thought I was about to go over my horse's head when them turkeys went flying out in front of us. But it was a pile of them. Love how Andy goes into detail with things. See, I told you got some fans.
I feel like I ramble.
He said he feels like he rambles. He's a talker. Y'all think I'm a talker. He's a talker. Yeah, Andy, I'm going to tell y'all, Andy is the one that taught me everything that I do and everything that I try to tell y'all and teach y'all, about the gardening and stuff. It's stuff that he's taught me because when I grew up, we didn't really have a garden. We would grow a few little things here and there. Pop and Daddy always growed like a huge potato field, potato patch. We always had potatoes, random things like that. We had hogs when I was growing up, when I was small. But a lot of this gardening stuff, Andy has taught me over the years, and I'm thankful for that. Like, as I've learned so much, I didn't grow up exactly the way that we live now. I didn't grow up that way, even though I only grew up about 15 minutes from here. But it's just amazing just crossing that one little river, what it'll do. We've got a big river that runs through this county. Y'all probably heard of the Dan River if you're from anywhere around North Carolina. But I grew up on the other side of the Dan River. Andy, I love that old tractor you was on the other day. Yeah, that is his pride and joy, that tractor, that John Deere B. So we bought that from a neighbor up here. The neighbor had it for years under the shelter. And Andy just he was doing some work for him or something, just happened to ask him, did he want to sell it? Well, then that man ended up, he called you, didn't he? Like, well, you know what? I believe I will sell it.
No, he come out telling me he wanted to sell it.
Oh.
He said, I got just what you need. And anytime somebody says that, well, they get my attention.
Yeah. So Andy ended up buying it. He had to do just a little bit of work to it, not much. It was already restored and everything. So he likes to use it, where you can. And even though it's that big, it don't have but how much horsepower?
I don't know. It's like 20.
I think it's just 20 horsepower. So,
but it's a whole lot stouter than a modern.
But it's a lot stouter than a modern 20 horsepower. He says. So we just like to hear it run, and the youngins call it the putt-putt tractor because of the sound that it makes. But yeah, that's his pride and joy. I'm loving your canning videos. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I'm self-taught to an extent. My mother-in-law taught me how to can green beans, and then it just all went from there. It just all went from there. And I found something I really enjoy doing, and something, in the last few years that I was glad I knew how to do. So that I had learned way back when I learned.
Your homesteading pastor said he was one. He had to go.
I gotta run. I hope y'all have a blessed week. Thank you for being here. Good to have you. And Archie Farmer, I'm new to the channel and really enjoying it. It makes me feel right at home. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate that. Glad you're here. And Gregory Miller says, nope, you are a teacher. He's a good teacher. I try to tell him this. Iron sharpeneth iron. I have been learning a lot from y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you. And somebody said, for you, please keep talking. Let's see.
I didn't see that comment.
Nothing like an old John Deere. Yep. He's a John Deere man. We got a little Kubota with the front end loader, but yes, he is a John Deere man. You did a great job on your cookbook. Thank you so much. I self-published that. I worked on that cookbook for it was like 6 months, 8 months.
Wow, yeah.
It took me a long time on that cookbook.
You got a super chat
to help buy some canning supplies if you need them. Thank you so much, August Rain. I appreciate that. That's gonna make me cry. Thank you so much. I do. I really appreciate that, and I will definitely use that to get me some canning stuff. I need to get me some wide mouth lids, so that's what that'll go towards for hog season. So, thank you. But yeah, that cookbook I worked on, it was a long time, and it was self-published, and I've never done anything like that. And I got together with some ladies in the community and different things to add a few more recipes, and so it was my first project like that, and I'd like to do another one eventually, one of these days, if I can get up the nerve to do something like that. And what's something I really love to do, I would love to teach in-person classes. If I could ever figure out how to do that, that would be something, because I enjoy people. I enjoy teaching people. That I really do.
Stephanie Perkins brought up a good point.
What?
That we put, how we always put most stuff in cans instead of in the freezer. She's talking about they lost a lot.
I started learning to can after. Oh, yeah, that's another reason we have had freezer issues in the past too. Not necessarily due to something like that, but just a freezer going out or something. And that's another reason that like I can a lot of meat, a lot of our pork, can a lot of chicken, just to. I still keep some in the freezer, but just in case something were to happen to the freezer, I still have backup. And plus, like, canned pork makes the best tacos if you've never had it. um, in the days to come, canning just might be a lifesaver. That's right. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, when 2020, crazy 2020 come around and everybody was going crazy doing stuff and the grocery stores didn't have nothing, you know, we didn't we didn't feel that too much, just because we do eat at home a lot. We're already doing this, so we didn't really feel it as much as a lot of folks did, and I was thankful for that back then, and even now. And we just continue to keep on keeping on, and I try to put up a little more and a little more every year. So I grew up watching my dad farm with a tractor like that. We also called it the foot. How can I get I will. Can you go on there and post a link to my
I have no idea how to do that.
I will figure out how to post a link to my cookbook. It's on Amazon. If you go to Amazon and type in True Grit Southern Cooking Cookbook, you should be able to find it. You'll see it. But I don't know how to click off of here without cutting you off. I'm not the most technologically advanced person. I can't even say the word. If you go to Amazon, can't you go to Amazon, like share it or something and copy the link?
Do you know who you're talking to?
Let me see it. Hang on, I'm gonna try to put you a link in there. Give me just a second.
You gonna put it in the live?
That's what I was gonna do.
I didn't know you could do that.
Y'all give me just a second, and then I'll go back to reading comments. I can't find it on here. I can't find your Amazon thing. There it is.
No.
But yeah, y'all, we're kind of enjoying this rainy. We were enjoying this rainy Sunday today. We still were busy doing other things, just not in the garden. So this is throwing me off. I see myself on Andy's phone. It's messing me up. All right, y'all, hold on here. Give me just a second. I about got it. Come on.
You want to make it go away?
No. All right, I'm going to put a link right here. There you go. You'll see it is from Lawson Lawn and Farm. You'll see a link pop up. And that'll be from my cookbook.
Yeah,
Doopsie Daisy. Hey, how exciting to be here. I'm glad to have you. Glad to have you. Why should we give you $20 when you already have plenty of apocalypse food stashed? I didn't ask you to. So one thing, I did get a lot of watermelons. We picked a lot of watermelons, and so I'm trying something. I was reading about the watermelons, and it said they'll store good in a cool, dark place. So I put them in my root cellar, and I've got them sitting on feed sacks, and I'm interested to see how long they will keep. Has anybody ever tried anything like that? Like, I don't know how long they'll keep like that, but it'd be nice to have some watermelon in the wintertime. But I don't know if they'll keep that long or not. Great variety of things in your book. Thank you. Without power for over 2 weeks. It was horrible. Oh, wow. Wow. Y'all are coastal too. Y'all have to deal with hurricanes too. No, we're not at the. I don't know if you're talking to me, but we're not at the coast though. We're about 4 hours from the coast. We're right at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains, but we do have hurricanes that come up through here, just not
to the extent.
Not to the extent of somebody that's on the coast. But now we did have a bad one come through a few years ago that knocked out quite a bit of power all the way up through like central North Carolina and up in Virginia and stuff. But luckily we don't have to deal with that too much. Will you do a video on canning sausage? Absolutely, I will. Because I was going to last year, and for some reason I didn't. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. Yes, I do canned sausage. I'll tell you, canned sausage makes the best sausage gravy because the texture's real fine. It's not like the big chunks of sausage. I don't know. I just think it makes the best sausage gravy. So that's about the only thing I use my canned sausage for. But I do can a lot of sausage. So I'll definitely be showing that. So we'll start our hogs the weekend after Thanksgiving and go through the end of the year. So sometime in between there, you'll see a video on that because things will kind of ramp back up then. We'll be done with the fall garden for the most part by that time of year. And then here comes the hogs, and I'll be rendering a ton of lard. I make a lot of lard because I use a lot of it. Be rendering a lot of lard, be canning a lot of meat. It's a real busy time of year making bacon, all the goods. 2020 didn't hurt us either, and I had already been canning like a crazy person for a few years. Yeah, me too, Mimsy, me too. Okay, it said, Andy sounds like me. Okay, I'll do that. I posted it for you. Oh, thank you. Gotta run, put my chickens up. All right, August Rain, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How long do your homegrown potatoes keep? So, our potatoes, we also keep them down in the root cellar, but we're trying something a little different this year. We've also got an old barn out here that's got these stalls back in the back corner that are real dark. So, we put some of them down there, but most of them we put in my root cellar, and I had potatoes all the way up until March,
Mm-hmm.
about March
They
this
start to
year,
get
and they start to get like those long shoots coming out of them. So what we're trying to see is those shoots are only supposed to come out if they're getting some kind of light, and there's no light down in that root cellar besides the light that I cut on when I go down there. So we're gonna try a few of them in that horse stall down there that's super duper dark, and just see if they keep any longer. Which March, I mean, I'm satisfied with that because then we're planting new potatoes in March anyway, March or April, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they do keep really good. But if you just have like, my sister in law keeps them in a shed. She had real good luck keeping hers in a shed, and she kept them. She do like a layer of potatoes, a layer of straw, a layer of potatoes, and a layer of straw. And she had potatoes just as long as I did, and they kept good that way. But as soon as it starts getting warm outside, you know, they'll start to go bad. But then when they start to go bad and start getting those eyes and stuff on them, just cut them up and replant them. That's what we do. If you have any left. So, but they keep good that way too. I'd be interested to see if the melons would last that long. I've never had them last but a week or two on the counter. I've never put them back to store. Let us know. Yeah, I'm interested to try it because I was reading about it and I was trying to do some research about it. You see all these pictures of these old root cellars. And I was paying attention to some of these black and white pictures, that people post. And if you pay attention, you'll see watermelons like, in the corner or something over here. So I'm just going to see. It's just kind of an experiment because we had so many. We'll see how they do. I probably know real quick if they start to rot down there because, the root cellar is right below my house. So, I mean, I'll smell it in my house. So maybe that won't happen, but I don't know if they'll last till winter. I just want to see just how long they do last, though. Because I think I put 8 or 9 down there. So we'll see. Thank you. I appreciate it. I remember my mama did that, but I didn't know how she did it. Yeah. I like canned sausage, but now I do pressure can mine where it's meat. Now I know a lot of people used to water bath it, and I don't know how long you would do that for. Juice your excess. Yeah, somebody else, Mimsy, told me to make watermelon jelly. I had thought about trying that just to see how that was because I love watermelon. Love, love, love it. Did you say you also have a full-time job? I thought I remember that from an old video. So yeah, I worked full-time up until about a year and a half ago, something like that. And we finally got to a point that I could cut back my hours. Now I still work two jobs as a nurse, but I am a fill-in now. I'm PRN. So I fill in if they need somebody and if I'm available that day. So 1 to 2 days a week, especially this time of year. Sometimes in the winter, I'll pick up a little bit more than that. But with the way healthcare is right now and the way, like, there's no workers, anywhere to be found, I can pretty much at this point work as much or as little as I need to, which is a blessing. So, um, right now, I just it's like tomorrow, they need me from 7 to 12 at one of those places. So I'll go and work from 7 to 12, come home and do what I got to do here. So that works out real good. Do you make homemade vegetable soup and can it? I need a recipe. So I don't actually make the soup and can it. I just kind of use my canned stuff and mix it together. Like I'll put 2 quarts. I usually do 2 quarts of my tomato juice, a can of green beans, a can of corn. I'm trying to remember what I'll put in it. I put a can of Crowder peas in it a lot of times. It's pretty good. Put that in there. And then I'll put like a can of my pork in it. And that's usually my vegetable soup. And I just kind of, instead of doing it all at one time, I don't know why I do it that way, but that's just the way I do it.
You should make a video on that because you got like the best vegetable soup ever.
Andy says I should do a video on my vegetable soup because he really enjoys my vegetable soup. So maybe this winter, because I'm one of these people, I can't eat soup when it's hot outside. I can't bring myself to do it. So when it starts getting a little cool outside, I'll start making vegetable soup. Now, what I do though is I make a huge pot of it at one time, and I freeze what's left. And so then so I make like 2 suppers out of one night of cooking. So I'll freeze what's left, and then a couple weeks later, I'll just thaw that out, and we'll have that, and then we'll start the process all over again during the winter. I made watermelon jelly this year. It is so good. Yeah, I may have to try that. Let's see. Hang on, I missed one up here. Did y'all get in trouble over the deer problem? We've had a time with them also. Man, them deer, they're getting used to the deer repellent going through my sweet corn, taking a bite here and there. Not even eating all of it, just taking a little bite here and there. So no, not quite. I mean, we slow them down, but I guess they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Unfortunately, them and the raccoons too. Water bath and meat's like a 3-hour process. Yeah, I thought it was a long process. I may have to try some of that watermelon jelly though. We've been selling watermelon jelly on a live stream fundraiser we've been doing on Friday nights for St. Jude's. Oh, cool. Cool. I'll have to check that out. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. She would turn herself and let the lard go to the bottom of the jar. And I think, so I've heard of people doing what you're talking about, Deborah. So what they'll do is they'll fry the sausage patties. If this is the way your grandma did it, they'll fry the sausage patties, put the sausage patties in the jar, pour the grease over the sausage, turn it upside down, and the grease stays once it cools at the top. And that's actually your seal. Now, of course, that's not something that's USDA approved, but it worked a long time. It worked a very long time because the grease was a lot of times the only way they had to seal stuff, and that grease would actually make a seal for that sausage. I've actually eaten some like that. It's been a while, but it's actually really good. No telling where you was. I'm Jamie, and you can also call me Z. Nice to meet you, Jamie. Glad to have you here. Text you and tell you about this. All right. Following these people for a while now. Thank y'all for recommending us, Tommy and Stephanie. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. But let's see. Lord, y'all, it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm going to have to go to bed. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to get up that early. Don't have to be at work till 7, but I got to get up that early so I can get up and get my life together and get woke up. And then I got to take my kids to my mama's house and then drive another about 30 minutes to work. So anyways, I guess I'm going to go. I hope everybody has a good night. I've never heard an accent like yours yet. It's special.
We have a Stokes County accent.
Yes, this is our. So let me tell you something funny. So we live right on the Virginia line. I used to work in Virginia because we're like 15 minutes from Virginia. And when I would go into Virginia, they'd say, "You got to be from North Carolina the way you talk," even though them people talk just as bad as I do.
No, I had one time. I was in a couple counties over, and a guy just randomly walks up to me and says, "You got to be from Stokes County." He said, more or less, he said, "You've got to be from Danbury." And I was like, yeah. How do you know? Because I've never seen this guy before in my life.
Yeah, we've got this little area right here around the Dan River. We've all got our special. I don't know where this accent come from, but see, we're at the very end. If you look at a map of Appalachia, what people consider southern Appalachia, we are the last county on that little thing. That little map. And I don't know if that's what it is, if it's that kind of, because it's more of that kind of accent than a southern accent from what I have found out, over the years. But yeah, this is just my accent is actually not as bad as it used to be before I went to college. So believe it or not, it used to be a lot worse than it is now.
I think the older I get, the worse mine gets.
Love this channel, Megan. You and Andy keep teaching the things. Southern Homestead. Thank you so much. If y'all are interested in helping us out, go to A Little Southern Brothers Friday night. She's on here now, but they are okay. Yeah, I'll definitely go on there when I get off here and check them out. A Little Southern Brothers. Remember that.
Right there they are.
Did you find it?
No, they're in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will definitely check that out. Thank you for that. Bye. Have a good week. Thank you. God bless y'all. God bless all y'all too. Thank you. Thank you. People leave messages on our YouTube channel if our accent is staged or if it's real. Tennessee folk here. Yeah. Some people, I've had people say that, like, you can't really talk like that. And I'm like, talk like what? I just talk like me. Yeah, it's real. Tried and true. Thank you. Bring all your subs. Will do. I'll definitely check that out. The Tapazio beans I planted for a fall crop are blooming. Awesome. That's awesome, Kim. Wonderful. Wonderful. I hope you enjoy those because I love them. They're like pinto. Like, you ever eat leftover pintos? You know how thick and yummy they get? The October beans are like leftover pintos. I love them.
She said, "Thank you for sharing where to order the seeds." Did you tell them in that video that we actually met Hoss that one time and that they're like super nice people?
No. So the people you actually ordered those seeds from, Kim, the Hoss Tools people, we actually met them at the Homesteaders Conference last year, and they are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. He gave my son like a hat and was standing there talking to Andy and Jacob, and yeah, just super, super good people. And I wouldn't be scared to recommend their product to anybody. We order a lot of stuff from them. Our Jimmy Red and our Hickory King come from them too. So, but anyways, I'm gonna check out this channel here. We're doing our second annual St. Jude's fundraiser. We said last year we did. That's awesome. That is wonderful. And that's a wonderful cause. But well, y'all, I'm gonna run. I gotta get my butt in the bed. So I'm glad all y'all came tonight. It was good to see everybody and talk to everybody a little bit. And hopefully I'll be figuring out what my next video is going to be. It's going to be a little bit of a busy week. So what Homestead Conference? I ordered my Jimmy Red there also. So it's called the Homesteaders of America Conference. It's in Front Royal, Virginia. It's right below Washington, D.C. It's actually in the country, but I think you're like 30 minutes or so out of Washington, D.C. or something like that. We went there last year and we're actually going this year. So if any of y'all are going to be there, look for me. We'll be there. But it's awesome. But it's called the Homesteaders of America Conference. So look it up, check it out. It's it's wonderful. But all right. Well, y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to y'all next time.
You missed one.